Well, the horrific Kolkata rape and murder of a junior doctor has now been handed over to the CBI. The Calcutta High Court today came down heavily on the state government as well as the college authorities, saying that no significant progress has been made even after 5 days. And since there is every possibility that the evidence may be destroyed, therefore the case must be handed over to the CBI. It was particularly harsh on the former principal of the RG Kar Medical College and Hospital, saying that he had no business to be jumping to conclusions and that he did not play a proactive role in trying to find out what exactly happened to this young victim. The TMC government has welcomed the decision of the Calcutta High Court to give the matter to the CBI. At the same time, it has defended Bengal's record when it comes to women's safety. But the protesting doctors, not just in Kolkata, but in Delhi, in Mumbai, they are still not satisfied. They want the central government and the parliament to pass the Protection of Medical Personnel bill, which has been hanging fire for a few years now. The moot point in that bill is central protection, central forces protection to doctors at their workplaces, particularly in government hospitals and medical colleges. But first, the story so far.
We welcome the decision of CBI, but अभी तक हम लोग का जो डिमांड है, that demand and the strike will still continue.
वेस्ट बंगाल की सरकार ने इस केस को हशप करने की कोशिश की, दबाने की कोशिश की और जनता के आंखों में धूल झोंकने की कोशिश की। मैं इसकी भी कड़े शब्दों में निंदा करता हूं।
कोर्ट मॉनिटरिंग सीबीआई हुई डिमांड, विक्टिम का फैमिली भी आया, बहुत अच्छा रिजल्ट आया। नाउ वी डिमांड हेल्थ मिनिस्टर एज वेल एज चीफ मिनिस्टर शुड रिजाइन फ्रॉम हर पोस्ट।
এরকম একটা কেন্দ্রীয় ইনভেস্টিগেটিং সংস্থা তারা আদৌ কতটা কি করতে পারবে সেটা নিয়ে আমরা সন্দিহান। আমরা বিশ্বাস করি আমাদের এই রাজ্য প্রশাসনই এই তদন্ত দ্রুততার সাথে শেষ করে
All right, let's open this up to our panelists. Sanju Verma is national spokesperson of the BJP. Dr. Riju Datta is spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress. Vikram Singh, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. Shikha Mukherjee, senior journalist, also joining us. Dr. Riju Datta, this is what the High Court today said as it handed over the case to the CBI, that the medical college initially ruled it as suicide. The principal blamed the victim, alleged psychosis. There was a flip-flop by the college in the details given to the parents. The first call that was made to the parents, the assistant super said that the victim had committed suicide. No significant progress has been made in the investigation even after 5 days. There is every possibility that the evidence will be destroyed. It is disheartening to note that the principal and the college authorities were not proactive. I mean, is this acceptable, Dr. Riju Datta, in this day and age after the brutal, horrific crime that this young doctor was subject to, that the government, the college authorities did not show the alacrity to try and get to the bottom of this as quickly as possible? On the contrary, from whatever we know, at least in the first 24 hours, the college authorities tried to underplay this whole case.
Zakha, let me be very blunt and very upfront. This is a heinous crime, a rarest of the rarest crime that has been committed in a government medical college in Calcutta, West Bengal. But yes, I agree with you, there was lacuna and there was misinformation that was fed by the college authorities, and as a result, the MSVP, medical superintendent cum vice principal, the head of the department, the ACP of the local jurisdiction, along with the assistant super, everyone was removed from that college. Secondly, from day one, we only wanted two things: justice for the victim and the victim's family, and exemplary punishment to the culprits. From day one, Mamata Banerjee, after speaking to the parents of the victim, has clearly stated that if the parents of the victims want, I can give this case to an independent agency. The case happened. There was no laxity by the Calcutta police. It was investigated directly by the Commissioner of Police. The prime accused was arrested within 24 hours, and it is an ongoing investigation. And now, yesterday, after the CM spoke to the family members, She gave a deadline to Calcutta Police for 7 days till Sunday. But today the Honorable High Court in all its wisdom has given the case to CBI. So we welcome the judgment. But again I will say there was no laxity in the investigation. There was no evidence tampering. There was no sort of allegations that has been floated by the BJP or the opposition parties or by through WhatsApp channels. There is no factual evidence or database, to back that up.
So let me
we
ask
hope and pray
Sanju Verma
that now that CBI is taking, CBI will do justice.
the police, Riju Datta and the TMC's contention is they did their job. Yes, there was laxity on the part of the college authorities. The principal was shunted out. The assistant super has been removed from his job. The others who are there initially trying to cover up this crime, they've all been removed. And within 24 hours, the main accused was nabbed as well. And the Chief Minister yesterday, after she met the victim's family, said, we are willing and open to give this to the CBI within 7 days if other accomplices are not arrested.
You know, Zaka, first and foremost, my heartfelt condolences to the parents of the young 31-year-old woman who was brutally raped, murdered, and 31 is no age to be gone. Having said that, much as we would not like to politicize this, your audience needs to hear some hard facts. For me, what stood out in the condemnation and castigation of the TMC regime, of the Mamata Banerjee regime by the Kolkata High Court was this sentence, where the Kolkata High Court said, we have grave doubts about the sufficiency of the ongoing probe. Grave doubts about the sufficiency of the ongoing probe is as bad as it gets when it comes to calling out the bluff of Mamata Banerjee, when it comes to showing her the mirror, when it comes to telling her that you have been incompetent. You are not just the Chief Minister, you are the Home Minister of West Bengal. Law and order has taken a flying leap out of the window under your incompetent watch. But very quickly, I will say this. I have been on a couple of debates in the last 48 hours on this issue. What stands out is that every junior doctor or intern or somebody who's been associated with the RG Kar Medical College and who's been on the panel with me has clearly said two things. We don't trust Mamata Banerjee or the TMC regime. And the second point that they've made is, we don't trust the Kolkata police. In fact, I was not aware about this, but I just found out that this man, Sanjay Roy, one of the accused, because now there is news coming in that there could be more than one person involved. Apparently, Sanjay Roy was wearing a police uniform and had police insignia on his uniform. And this young woman went between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. to the seminar room. And she asked him for help, thinking he's part of the police and security constabulary that is supposed to protect these young interns and doctors and trainees. And imagine, she was raped by somebody who was masquerading to be a part of Kolkata's police dispensation. It could not get any more gruesome than this.
My understanding is that he was a civic police volunteer. I don't know if he was wearing police uniform or not. Riju Datta can clarify on that. And my information is also there are over 1 lakh such civic police volunteers, not just in Bengal. Other states have that as well.
Yes,
they're
I'm
there
coming to that,
they're there
Zaka.
in UP, Bengal,
Can I just
Bihar,
finish in
etc.
10 seconds?
Yeah, 10 seconds. Okay.
Zaka, the limited point is this. That, the Kolkata High Court has also raised objections to two very, disturbing things. A, Sandeep Ghosh, first, the principal of RG Kar Medical, he first dismissed this gruesome rape and murder as suicide. Point number 2, the father of the girl is on record saying that he was misinformed and said, ye to suicide hai. And the third point, which, Vikram Singh can corroborate, in a heinous crime like this, you have to collect the vaginal swabs, and the only way a thorough investigation can happen is if the scene of the crime is not compromised. What was happening for the last 7 days? Thank God the media built pressure. And the most disturbing fact is this. Sandeep Ghosh was reinstated as the principal of the Kolkata National Medical College in 12 hours of this gruesome incident. That is absolutely unacceptable.
In fact, I want Riju Datta to respond to that before I go to Vikram Singh and to Shikha Mukherjee. Even the court has noted, Riju Datta, that the college authorities showed unnatural haste in ensuring that a case of unnatural death was registered in the absence of a complaint. Why didn't the principal of the college immediately lodge a complaint? It is disheartening to note that the college authorities and the principal were not proactive. There was a serious lapse by the college principal, giving room for suspicion. He has been made principal of another government college, and that too in a matter of hours. What was the tearing urgency? Please explain.
I will answer all your questions and all the pertinent points raised by the BJP spokesperson. But the problem is BJP is suffering from a very serious disease, a disease of WhatsApp university. And
Please don't talk about BJP's disease
half
today.
truths.
You should be
I'm
ashamed.
giving. Can I
Ma'am,
please?
you've asked him a question.
Can
Let him
I-
respond,
Saka,
please.
I did not
Yeah,
mention
yeah.
anything.
You've asked him a question. Let him
Don't
respond.
talk about BJP.
But yeah,
You should
let's
not
stick
talk
to the
about
issue,
BJP.
Riju Datta. Please stick to the question you've been asked. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, please.
The amount of information, and I'm telling you this.
भाषण की जरूरत नहीं
The
है.
amount
Ma'am,
of
please,
information,
please.
my
Yeah,
goodness.
Riju Datta. Please answer the question.
amount of information that I'm answering the question one by one, give me the courtesy of time. The amount of information that BJP and their spokesperson have, the police does not have it, Trinamool Congress does not have it, nobody in the world has it. So CBI should start the
What kind of a
investigation
juvenile argument is that,
by
Saka?
bringing all the BJP leaders into the
Riju,
inquiry.
stop
No, one
engaging
second,
in
because
what
you're
about
peddling
the-
lies on national
Stop
TV.
engaging.
Ma'am,
You're
see,
not
we
peddling
can't do a
lies.
debate this way. No, one
Don't
second.
No,
I'm going to go one by one. Riju Datta, please answer the question.
Can I come in?
Who is this Sandeep Ghosh, and how is it
Thank you.
that
How-
after all this, within 6 hours, he loses one job, he's forced to resign from one job. Within 6 hours, he's made principal of another college. How? Why is he so powerful?
Exactly. I will answer that. I wanted to answer that. He is not powerful, and I am not here to defend anybody. The comment that he made, the principal made a comment that, it is a suicide or the girls should not roam around. These are all fake. There is no factual data to support this. Point number one. Point number two, the junior doctors or the resident doctors who are sitting in Dharna, they made some demands to the state government and to the commissioner of police that we want these authorities to be removed. And he was removed. But he was removed from one place and transferred somewhere else. But the Honorable Calcutta High Court has observed that cannot happen and send him already on extended leave. Point number two. Point number three, this Sandeep Rai, who's the primary accused here, where the BJP national spokesperson on national TV says that he wears a police insignia or police uniform is absolutely false. Yes, he's a civic
It is not
volunteer.
false.
Yes, he
This
should
is
not
what
be
has been
present
reported
there.
in
It is
vernacular media
absolute-
in Bengal.
One second.
That is
Let
reported in the WhatsApp message.
him
Can I
finish.
finish?
He's a civic police volunteer. What he was wearing on the night of, we don't know. Yeah.
Yes.
Can I now come in, Zaka, because he's had
I'm
two
giving
big
you the
rebuttals.
facts, and I'm going to. The national spokesperson of the BJP saying somebody wearing police uniform and police insignia.
Zaka, he cannot have a free run on your show.
Ma'am,
I
one
know
second,
my
ma'am.
messages.
You've asked him the question. Let him answer the
Can I
question, then I'll
finish?
come back to you,
Zaka,
please.
what is
Have a little
What
patience,
about
please.
it?
Again, look, I hate to do this, but I have to go one by one. Riju Datta, please explain, was this man wearing police uniform when this crime happened or not? And two, the civic police volunteer,
No, let him lie.
how did he have
No
access
police
to the
insignia,
welfare
but-
board? How did
but-
he have access to all parts of the
Yes,
college?
yes.
How is it that the CCTV in that one floor alone is
I'm
not
coming to
working?
that. I'm coming to everything. All the questions, pertinent questions you have asked. Number one, he is not a member of Police Welfare Board because he's a civic volunteer. To become a member of the Police Welfare Board, you have to be a minimal of a constable rank. So he's not a member. But yes, he was associated with police welfare. Point number one. Because he was asked to go around everywhere, check on all the police staff that is admitted in hospitals. Number two, yes, you are right. He has no business to be in that part of the hospital at that time of the night. No business. Number three, he was not wearing police uniform because they don't get police uniform. No point of police insignia. He was using a motorbike, which the Honorable ex-DGP can say. And the motorbike was used by is actually allocated to an SI of a police station. Normally in police station, the DGP sir is here, where sometimes people ask for bikes and the keys are given if somebody is a staff in a police station. But if he goes and commits another crime, that is on him.
So
and
no,
yes, you are
I
right.
do
He has
want
done
to.
a heinous crime and he
I
should be
have
hanged.
the fact file on this man Sanjay Roy, who is the main accused, who has been now arrested. Vikram Singh, he is a civic volunteer with the police. He has worked with the Police Welfare Board. He was on duty that night outside the trauma care center of RG Kar Medical College and Hospital as a police volunteer. The college authorities are still not explaining how he had access to all hospital departments. Usually, my understanding is police volunteers have limited access to where they can go inside a hospital and where they cannot. There was a history of misconduct against women. There were other women doctors and interns who had complained against this man in the past. The college authorities did nothing. There were also allegations of corruption, bribery against this man in the past, and again, the college authorities turned a blind eye. So I want to ask, how and what makes this man so powerful that he was able to get away with it until this gruesome crime happened this past weekend? Who was backing him politically?
Good evening, Zaka, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is not rocket science. May I submit with the greatest of respect that such people, he was sporting a KP, Kolkata Police badge on his T-shirt and a KP, Calcutta Police monogram on his two-wheeler. Whether it belonged to the sub-inspector or otherwise, he was camouflaging his identity as being a part of the Kolkata Police. Now, too little coming too late, no action against the college administration, and to double up this gruesome murder as a suicide and to give compensation, I really don't know by what stretch of imagination can there be a compensation. Madam Sanju Verma has merit in what she has said, that the scene of crime has to be safeguarded and the vaginal swab is of utmost importance. If that is compromised, the investigation is compromised. Well, yes, we are supposed to be absolutely objective and base our observation on facts and not on WhatsApp. But what the solemn observations of the High Court are by no stretch of imagination are they from WhatsApp University. These are serious indictment and castigation of the administration of Kolkata Police and also the Home Ministry. But coming to the basics now, there have been horrible fault lines in the investigation. Number one, when you got the Bluetooth headphones next to the body of the victim, then you had the bloodstained shoes of the person, Sanjay Roy. Then he is addicted to drugs and pornographic and visits red light area. Is there any other evidence that is required? And such a pervert, if he has free access into a girls' hostel, to a medical college, there are repeated complaints, and I choose not to take action, then there are only two reasons, Zaka. One, that I'm a wheeler dealer par excellence, I buy my way out, or I have a political patronage, or both. Under these circumstances, not to take action and to look the other way is also to be a willing accessory to the crime. And therefore, I salute the judgment of the Honorable High Court when they said that the action should have been taken and it was not taken. Here is what the problem lies. And to say that the investigation would have been given in any case, but it was the High Court that transferred the investigation, not the government.
I also want to bring in Shikha Mukherjee, and this is what the postmortem report says. This is the final postmortem report that has come out today. A preliminary report had come the day after the crime happened. Shikha Mukherjee, this is what the postmortem says, that the victim was bleeding from both her eyes. She had injuries on her face. There was blood oozing out of her mouth. She was bleeding from her private parts. There were injuries on her belly and her left leg. Her neck was broken and she had injuries on the right hand. Now, how can doctors, in this case a college principal, an assistant superintendent, how can they come to a conclusion that this was a suicide? I mean, even you and I as lay people can look at these injuries and the nature of these injuries, and our first instinct is something is fishy here. And the first call that was made by the assistant super to the father of the victim said, "Aapki beti ne suicide kar li, come and collect her body." I mean, if this is not a cover-up, I'm sorry, what is?
It is a cover-up. It is the worst kind of ham-handed cover-up from any from any person in authority, and that too from doctors, just suggests that the doctors are incompetent. All they're interested in is trying to go into denial. The fact is that because they have gone into denial, the court has slammed them and has done so rightly. There is no way in which any authority of any institution should have ignored the fact that this man was a nuisance, a problem, and there were complaints against him. Instead of acting proactively on it, they went into denial. Now, as the former DGP has said, this denial is on two accounts, and I entirely agree with him. It's either that this guy has clout, political clout of some kind, and he knows that he can get away with it. The fact is that there may be others who are also in that position. There may be people elsewhere where people are vulnerable. It doesn't matter whether it is a woman or a man who is vulnerable, or even children. The fact is that the state government needs to take a hard look and figure out whether there are other such potential problems lurking around within the institutions over which it has control. It just needs to clean it up.
Do
There
you
is no
believe
way in
he was
which-
able to get away with this for so long because he had some kind of political patronage?
That is what has been alleged. Now, that is something that we will have to figure out for ourselves as journalists. What was the nature of the patronage he enjoyed? What was his clout? Where did he derive his kind of immunity from? But it is also true that the government now has a responsibility to verify how other such institutions are being run, and whether there are such complaints, whether there are problems. They need to have a very close look at what the situation is.
Sanju Verma, the main demand of the protesting doctors, and the protests are continuing tomorrow and day after, I believe on the eve of Independence Day, they are planning a massive candlelight vigil in Kolkata. The main demand was the CBI inquiry, which has now been granted by the court. They have been saying from day one that they are convinced that there are more suspects involved because of the nature of the injuries that the victim has suffered. But the most important thing that they're asking for, and this is doctors outside of Kolkata as well, is that they want the Central Protection Act for doctors, which was brought by the BJP government, unfortunately not passed. I think it was in 21 or 22. They want this bill to be passed by the Parliament of India so that there is adequate central protection for doctors who are working in government medical colleges and hospitals.
You know, Zaka, I have to say one thing. Let's not lose sight of the woods for the trees, not Riju. But, you know, I have been with some other TMC, panelists, those who support the government, if not officially, unofficial spokespersons. And one of them had the audacity to say, ye to kahin bhi ho sakta tha. This could have happened anywhere. Hypothetically assuming this could have happened anywhere, my limited point is this, you know, taking off from what Shikha Mukherjee said and Vikram Singh said, there is an element of political patronage which cannot be denied. There is an element of providing protection to a pervert like Sanjay Roy, because his history has been far from flattering. He was still allowed to go into premises where he had no business to go. Point number 3, I always say that the key culprit is actually the mindset. And the mindset is what is bothersome here and is dreadful actually, because after Sandesh Khali, I remember it took 58 long days for Shah Jahan Sheikh to be arrested. And even after that, you know, I'm taking onus for this. I'm sticking my neck out and saying, the likes of Mahua Moitra have said, 2,000 rupees each was given to the Sandesh Khali women to besmirch the reputation of Mamta Banerjee. When you have that kind of a mindset, after the Hansa Khali gang rape, Mamta Banerjee said, oh, it a rape chilo, na it a love affair chilo, or was the girl pregnant, made a pregnant chilo. Basically, she tried victim shaming. When the chief minister and a woman chief minister engages in victim shaming, this is the end result. And I hope Mamta Banerjee now wakes up and smells the coffee. And Zaka, one important
Zaka,
point.
can I come in?
You're very right. Mansukh Mandavia introduced, the Central Protection Act and Violence Against Doctors Bill in 2019, 2021, 2022. And each time it could not be passed. But I'm very sure that now, if there is one good outcome that will come, I'm sorry to use this phrase, it is that we need doctors to be covered under the aegis of the Central Protection Act, so that at least such incidents can be reined in. But my simple point is this, Mamta Banerjee resign. Istifa do Mamta Banerjee, you're incompetent.
So,
you have failed as the Chief
Riju Datta, the point is, it is obvious as daylight that the college authorities were in a rush to deny the gravity of this crime. They were in a rush to call this a suicide. And then when the doctors started protesting and the media started reporting, that's when they had to backtrack. Today, the court has come down like a ton of bricks on the college authorities. What was the pressing hurry to register a case of unnatural death in the absence of a complaint? Why didn't the principal of the college register a complaint immediately upon receiving news of the grave injuries that were caused to the victim. And the most important question, you still have not answered it. How and why is Sandeep Ghosh, the former principal of this college, so powerful that within 5 hours or 6 hours of him resigning from his post as principal of RG Kar, he is appointed in the National Medical College in the same post?
He's not powerful. He's been sent on extended leave by Calcutta High Court. And see, the students demanded his removal. We removed him from one college, sent him to the other. But it has been blown out of proportion, unfortunate. But I will rise above politics and make a pertinent point here, Zaka. And I'm not going to be insensitive here. Rape, like Sanjuji said, is a mindset and a social disease. It can happen in Bengal. Yesterday, it has happened to a final year engineering student in a moving car in Agra. It has happened to 2 women in Odisha by a doctor in SCB Medical College, which is a BJP ruled state. So it is a crime that keeps on happening. It will only stop if we instill fears in criminals. When we are talking about passing bills in the parliament, can I please, madam?
No, if you talk about Odisha, I will remind you about Bengal.
Okay.
Don't engage in what about
Can I please?
Okay.
Then I will remind you
He was making a point. He was making a point that rape can happen anywhere. Anyway, yeah, Riju. Yeah, Riju.
Can I finish?
Riju, yeah.
Zaka, why can't you control her?
No.
Understand.
I don't believe in pulling down faders. But go ahead, one at a time. Yeah, Riju.
When we are talking about passing bills in the parliament, then the most important bill that my National General Secretary Abhishek Banerjee has said is that the people in power, the union government, should pass a bill that if somebody is convicted after an investigation is found with enough evidence that he is convicted of rape and murder, there should be a fast track court and the culprit should be hanged by the gallows.
Let Mamata
we
Banerjee
want
resign
justice
first.
for the victim and we want exemplary punishment
Mamata Banerjee
for
has failed as the chief minister.
But
Mamata
by the
Banerjee has
stupid
failed
logic
as
of
the home
Sanju
minister.
Verma, by the stupid logic of Sanju Verma.
Okay, no, I have to wrap up. I have to wrap up. Riju Datta, Sanju Verma. We'll leave it at that. I do want to underline this point that this case has once again woken up our collective conscience in a way perhaps like the way the Nirbhaya case did more than 10 years ago. My fear is, and this has happened far too often in the past, my fear is that once the news cycle moves on beyond this case, beyond this news story to the next news story, and people have shifted their attention, shifted the focus away, and the protesting doctors go back home or go back to their workplaces, that will make us complacent again for the next crime to happen, for the next rape and next, God forbid, murder to happen against a woman. We can ill afford that in this day and age in this country. And for that, if that means exemplary punishment, if that means fast-tracked courts, if that means putting the fear of the law in people like Sanjay Roy, then it needs to be done forthwith.